Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Creative Writing. Today will be a poetry day, and I think I came up with kind of an interesting idea to write some poems today. So I'm going to share with you guys how I came up with my 3 poems today, and I hope that you all will enjoy taking a shot at it yourselves. So today, I would like us to experiment with not getting bogged down with punctuation or trying to think of our poems in sentences, okay? This is what is going to be referred to as kind of like free write poetry. And what I would like you to do when you go to write your poems, and this is difficult, okay? It was difficult for me. So I imagine that we'll all have issues with it, but I'm going to show you guys an example. You can see my 3 poems on the page here. When you start writing your poems, okay, and your pen hits the page or your pencil or whatever, I would like you to continue writing all in one motion, okay? Obviously, you will have to pick up your pen to write the individual words and move down to the next lines of your poetry, but I would like you to experiment with keeping the flow of your poem going from the moment your pen hits the paper. Okay, so take a moment to think about where you would like to begin. But this exercise is really important to try to get you out of your head and maybe stop overthinking what it is you might end up writing your poems about today. And it kind of shortcuts you into just expressing yourself without a lot of personal critique or second guessing yourself. In similar ways to acting and in an improvisation, once it begins, you're in the hot seat and you're going with it, whatever's coming your way. That's kind of like what we're trying to emulate, instead of having the time to learn all of your lines and get your blocking and have several rehearsals, get all the way up ready to that point where you're ready to perform. I feel like the writing process can be like that sometimes, in that you write something, you rewrite it, you go back, you think about it, you go back again. We're not trying to write in that fashion today. Today, we are trying to keep the flow. Well, let's call these flow poems, okay? Because it's all about keeping the flow going during the entire time you are going to be writing your. And then when you're done, when you complete your thought, let's say that's the end of your poem, then take a moment, take a little break, okay? Excuse me, got a little tickle in my throat. Then come back and get ready for that next poem. And then write your way along and don't stop. Just whatever you do, don't stop until the thought is complete. And then you pick your pen back up off the paper, okay? So this is, it's tricky, all right? I understand it will be a challenge to maintain this for each of the poems, so feel free to take some breaks as well, okay? But I'm pretty excited to share with you my flow poems that I wrote this morning. They were very much inspired by the morning. I was excited to see that while the air quality is still not, all the way back to normal by any stretch, it is better today. And so I was appreciating out my window the idea of being able to get back outside again regularly. Okay, so now I am going to read you my 3 flow poems. And after each one, I'm going to go back and discuss it instead of discussing them all at the end. All right, you guys ready? All right. Right, my first flow poem. Summer dreams come on like a fever, pick you up, ask you to dance, maybe even take you for a drive. You can still feel alive. Okay, so this poem for me very much came about from the yearning of wanting to have a more regular or more normal summer, which we're all getting deprived of this summer, as it's very, very quickly drawing to a close. And I was sort of lamenting the fact that I wish I had done more with this summer had I been able to. And so that's where the summer dreams idea, dreaming of a better summer. It was kind of my way of trying to say that. Come on like a fever. Sometimes when you get swept up in I wish we could do this or could do that or whatever, it comes on so quickly it can feel like a fever. And I mean that in sort of a good way, like you get swept up in it. And then I tried to sort of personify summer dreams. They pick you up, ask you to dance, maybe even take you for a drive. Those are all ways that summer dreams you can kind of romanticize the summertime in a lot of ways. And so I was trying to personify summer dreams. And then the final line I landed upon was what I'm really, really hoping for soon is, to be able to resume some sort of regular life and feel alive again. So maybe even take you for a drive, you can still feel alive. I thought it was interesting, since I didn't rhyme throughout most of the poem, to end on a rhyme too. So it just kind of happened in the flow. Okay, because these are flow poems today. All right, so there is poem number 1. All right, poem number 2. Morning calm matched with a strong cup of black coffee. You don't always have to greet the dawn. Sometimes a nod will do. Okay, so this one was very much inspired by, I live on sort of a busy street and I hear a lot of traffic going by throughout the day. But if I get up early enough, it is very calm and serene even. And so I was sipping my morning coffee, thinking about class this morning. I did not wake up early enough to greet the dawn, although I was up quite early today. And I thought, you don't always have to greet the dawn to feel like you're getting a good start on the day. And so I was trying to kind of play off that, meet the dawn sort of cliche, if you will. And acknowledge that even if you don't greet the dawn, you can still find a way to start your day off right. And that's what greeting the dawn is really all about anyway. It's not necessarily about seeing the sun actually rise. It's about starting your day in a way that makes all of us, when we do this, I feel like we're taking advantage of our day better. So that's where this line, you don't always have to greet the dawn. Sometimes a nod will do. So this morning I didn't greet the dawn, but I certainly gave it a hearty nod. All right, so that's poem number 2. All right, and keep in mind, these poems are an exercise. to try to unlock some things. And I don't think had I taken more time to think about these that I would have ended up writing these poems at all. And that's the whole point. Okay, if you really give this a shot, you could surprise yourself with what you end up writing about, which isn't that a cool idea? Something to strive for. I hope you all agree. All right, my third and final flow poem. Put those shoes on. Let them take you somewhere new. It's hard to keep it fresh unless you find a way to pass the test. Never forget, it could all still work out, I guess. Okay, so this one I definitely leaned into a rhyme scheme, and it didn't develop right off the bat. But I write a lot of song lyrics, so rhyming is very natural to me, and it almost feels odd not to rhyme. And so because I was in the flow, I just went with it. And that's a part of what these flow poems should do for us all, is help us just go with whatever instinct we have. So I was again thinking about, man, I can't wait to be able to get back outside again a little bit in these times to keep ourselves sane. So I had this drive, to want to put my shoes on. It feels like it's been like a couple of weeks that I've just been living in my flip-flops because I'm not going anywhere and doing anything, and they're just an easy pair of shoes to slide on and off. But I'm looking forward to having a legitimate reason to put my shoes on. So that's where the impetus for the beginning of this poem started. Put those shoes on. Let them take you somewhere new. Now, I don't know about you guys, but it's been quite some time since I've gone somewhere new for myself. And so it's an impulse that I'm feeling a lot. So it just came up in my flow poem. My next line, it's hard to keep it fresh unless you find a way to pass the test. Now, this is something I'm being a little cryptic, I guess, in my thoughts. But what I was trying to get at is I kind of feel like we're all being tested right now by all of the stuff that is going on in the world. And it's easy when there are so many factors out of our control to kind of just hunker down and, do the same things all of the time, because routines can be very comforting, and they can be good for your mental health, to just have a constant routine going. And all of our routines have been disrupted in some way or another by this pandemic. And so I guess I was trying to keep it playful in knowing that I'm being tested right now, but I also have this desire to seek out something new, to break out of the very, very limited routine that I have right now. And so that's where I'm trying to get at with this line. It's hard to keep it fresh unless you can find a way to pass the test. And then my last line is a continuation of that rhyme. So unless and test normally would be the end of a rhyme. We call that a rhyming couplet, where it's, two lines that rhyme. And I decided to tack on another line that also rhymed because I was in the flow. And this is something I have been needing to remind myself pretty regularly. And I hope that reminding myself through my poem is also helpful for you all out there, in saying, never forget, it could all still work out, I guess. So I think that's kind of self-explanatory, but it's important to remind ourselves, even when we're getting down and we're getting a little bit bummed out by the repetition or the, maybe focusing on the things that we're not getting to do, never forget it could all still work out, I guess. I hope that that finds you all in a state that you can welcome that thought in today, and just keep reminding yourself this could all still work out. It's just not going to happen on the timelines probably that we were all hoping for. So a little bit of hope to finish out our poetry selection today. So just to review before I bid you all adieu. Today's poems we're calling flow poems, because I would like you to take a moment, think about what you might want to start writing about, and then the moment that your pen or pencil hits the page, I want you to just keep writing until your thought is complete, okay? And don't worry about it being long poems. These are only, just a couple of lines each for all of these poems. Shorter is better, probably. But just don't stop once you start a poem. Don't stop until you feel like your thought is complete. And then take a small break and think about what you might want your next poem to start with. Only worry about what you're going to start with before you start writing. And then as soon as that pen hits the page, keep going. Keep going. Don't stop. Even when you go on to the next line, don't stop. Keep it going until the thought is complete. What thought, you might be asking? Your thought, okay? Until your thought is complete. And then take a break. Think about what you might want to write your third poem about, and just get the beginning of what you would like to start writing about. And then as soon as the pen hits the page, keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Come down to that next line. Keep it going. Keep it going. Don't stop. You're going to want to think about it a little bit more before you write. Don't let yourself. Okay? Keep going, keep going, keep going until the thought is complete. Until your thought is complete. All right. I hope that you guys have some fun with that. I had some fun with it, and I surprised myself. And that is exactly what I'm hoping for each and every one of you that gives this a try. All right, you guys, have a wonderful rest of your week. And I really hope that these classes are finding their way to you all, and that you are giving it a shot. All right. I'll check in with you guys all next week.